Hi, I'm Don Gordon. I'm the founder and CFO of GreenTech Fire Solutions.
Hi, I'm Ron Evans with President of GreenTech Fire Solutions.
Okay, my name is Paul Jameson from LifeSafe Technologies. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. So, to start things off, I figured I would ask you this question. Why exactly are wildfires becoming more frequent and severe each and every year? And what are the main reasons society is still reacting instead of preparing for these incidents?
One of the simple reasons for wildfires expanding is urban sprawl, the encroachment of human settlements into the forest. But not only when there is a fire, it's affecting people more directly. So we have more evacuations and more direct impact on where people live. So one of the mechanisms we're involved in is adding solutions to water to make it much more effective and protecting structures with that, or just putting out a fire generally.
So, you mentioned a few of the methods that Green Tech is involved in for preventing wildfires. What are some of the other proven methods that exist today to prevent these fires before they start?
What I believe is our most amazing product is the Wildfire product. It's called Wildfire Pro. It's called Pro because it does something different. It's not just about extinguishing a fire. So the majority of the wildfire marketplace is divided into three different types of products: long-term retardants, Class A foams, and wetting agents. The LifeSafe product is uniquely all three of those products combined into one fluid. So all of a sudden we have decomplicated, uncomplicated, or removed the confusion as to which fluid you need to use on which particular fire source or wildfire or forest fire. Do I want to create a fire break? You can just use our product. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about it. Put the product on the fire and it will stop the fire in its tracks. The one of the core products is the LifeSafe Stay Safe All-in-One. That is the world's only smallest plastic pressurized fire extinguisher. It does 10 different types of fire. And what's really unique about this product is that you can use it in any direction. It will work upside down, this way or this way. You do not need to think about which way you hold it, which means it's more natural in terms of when you're approaching a fire. On the thermal runaway fluid, that again, LifeSafe has developed all of its product to deal with the problems now, not history. We haven't repurposed products for today's problems. We've developed products for today's problems. So specifically the chemistry that we've designed, whether it's wildfire, whether it's the multi-purpose fluid in here, or whether it's the pure thermal runaway fluid, they've all been developed to deal with the problems right now. So all of our competitors have redeveloped or redesigned or rebranded or remarketed their product for today's problems.
Some people would argue that Wildfire Pro is too expensive. How exactly does the cost of this product compare to the cost of wildfire destruction in places such as Jasper, California, and Fort McMurray?
The cost of those disastrous fires in those places, a dimension that dwarfs the cost of that putting an additive in the water.
You look at Jasper, it's 1.2 billion was the final cost that they indicated in Jasper. California, I'm sure it was in the billions. Ripping through Malibu like it did, I'm sure it was only a few houses before it was in the billions. Then we look at Fort McMurray, even what was the cost and the disruption in Yellowknife when those people had to be evacuated.
Now, moving over to a different topic when it comes to fires that is becoming incredibly prevalent these days, lithium ion batteries. I wanted to ask you guys, how big of a threat are lithium ion battery fires from devices like e-bikes and even electronic vapes?
Lithium ion battery fires is becoming a huge problem in New York, Toronto, places where people live in a lot of condominiums. They're charging their e-scooters, e-bikes. And when you're living in an apartment condo, quite often they're charging those near the door. So when you have thermal runaway and that battery starts on fire, all of a sudden they're having issues with the people, the residents of these places being able to exit. So now they're trying to have to remove the people from the unit from their windows and balconies. Very unsafe. Once firefighters do get in the building, it's hard to put out that fire.
Now, speaking of a shift in the business, traditional firefighting foam contains PFAS, PFAS, of course, for people who aren't familiar, a very toxic chemical to the environment and to people. Why exactly is this chemical still in use, and what are the dangers exactly in specific for PFAS in the air?
Just to be absolutely clear, the LifeSafe product is fluorine free. So PFAS, PFOS, PFOA free. So we are a non-life chemical. So it's the lifetime chemical is the PFAS is what it's referred to. That it remains in the soil, it remains in the waterways forever. It doesn't degrade. The LifeSafe products biodegrade. They don't contain PFAS and they're environmentally friendly. But the reason why the PFAS products are still used is because they are really, really good at fighting liquid fuel fires. Because the structure of the bubble, if you fill your washing up bowl with liquid, the foam will subside, and it's not great if you try and use a blowtorch on it. The PFAS foams the structure of the foam is so strong that you can layer it on top of a fire. You can create a barrier, but it's highly toxic.
So how exactly, 5, 10 years from now is this going to look when it comes to the situation in fire prevention? What is you guys' prediction with not only the use of the rest of the PFAS foams, but also the delay of actually implementing these new technologies? How do you think it's going to look in the next 5 or 10 years?
Hopefully, the Earth will start cooling down.
Right.
If
Let's hope.
that doesn't happen, whatever's going on today is going to be multiplied a few times. So there's going to be much greater awareness and much larger demand for Wildfire Pro additives for water preservation.
Adding on to that, I would say, the acceptance of, firefighting officials and governments into the fact that Wildfire Pro is an acceptable treatment to, put out these wildfires and pre-treat these areas in advance. And once the community, the government, the firefighting community accepts Wildfire Pro and starts utilizing it, then we'll be able to, once, as Paul said, once a wildfire is identified, we can put it out quickly. If we identify an area that's at extreme risk, we can pre-treat that area.
It feels like we're a really small pharma company and we're battling with big pharma.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's
We've got
Knocking
a
on
cure,
doors.
we've got the cure, and we now need those,
Mhm.
those that rely on big pharma to stop relying on big pharma and take the cure that we've got and we can provide.
exactly.
100%. And hopefully education like this for people to get informed and, find out what's going on will definitely be a big help for that as well.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me and, bringing the people the information they need on this. Where exactly can people find your products if they want to go ahead and buy them right now, whether it's in person or on the internet?
Well, our website is the place you can go anywhere from there.
As the manufacturer, we'll be supporting GreenTech in their meetings and making sure that the technical aspects of the product are really understood for governments, for local officials or fire departments to really understand and get under the hood of the product.